It's not my duty to come here and sanitize the human rights situation in Uganda. I'm disgusted by it myself, if you want to know the truth.
The Democratic Party president, who is also Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, did not mince his opinion on the country's human rights record.
I want to tell you there's no more image to protect. The government in terms of human rights is stark naked. I can tell you frankly.
Mao was speaking at a human rights convention that was organized by Chapter 4, a civil society human rights organization, and the German-based organization Konrad Adenauer Stiftung in Kampala. Mao says being a cabinet minister and subject to collective responsibility, he will not defend wrongs in government when still a minister.
I have a freedom to agree to disagree with the government in which I serve, provided the disagreement is clear. And I want to promise that as long as I'm the Minister of Justice, where the government is wrong, you will not find me defending what is wrong, because I have some values I believe in, and I want to be true to those values. I'd rather be false to the government, but true to my values. So I want to declare myself your ally in these difficult times as we head to 2026.
Chapter 4, a civil society human rights organization headed by Nicholas Opio, a human rights defender, was in 2020 arrested and charged with money laundering.
The fact that Nicholas was arrested and jailed is in itself a sign that, the space for human rights activists in Uganda is not as safe as it should be.
Mao went on to remind his boss, President Museveni, that civil society organizations in Uganda are not his enemies.
It is not healthy for the president of the country to stand up and say XYZ civil society organization are enemies of the state. I think that's not a very good beginning for engagement, because once the president declares you an enemy, then there's no room for dialogue. So we continuously advise the president of Uganda to use a language which recognizes that every difference of opinion is not necessarily a difference of principle.
Mao accused Western countries of fueling the mass killings in Kampala when the opposition National Unity Platform President Robert Sentamo was arrested during the 2020 election campaigns.
Those who had arrested the NUP presidential candidate didn't want him to be granted bail. So-called partners from abroad who are making phone calls to political leaders in Uganda and telling them to bring people on the streets so that the state can be provoked to carry out a massacre, and then the massacre will push the international community to invoke the right to protect.
Mao says he has since instituted a human rights committee to investigate the matter, promising to reveal the truth of what happened. Jingo Francis, NTV.